luckily the damage wasn't huge, but I haven't reconnected everything back up properly yet. So yeah, I'm limited to my handhelds and the radio in the car, hence able to talk to you this morning as I'm in the car. Yeah, what have I been up to? Just recently been studying this new Morse code training device project called the Morserino, and I've been 3D printing some parts on that. Yeah, other than that, not really done much on the radio because my radios aren't back in action yet, but hopefully soon. Maybe I'll even do it this afternoon, actually. If I can get some time, I might climb back into the loft and try and salvage what I can. Yeah, I'm not sure what the order is here, so I'm going to pass it back to Net Control. Very good morning, everyone, and nice to hear you all. Back to Net Control, Dave from M0WDV Mobile.
M0WDV Mobile Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel returning. Yeah, all copies there, Dav, and I suppose I shouldn't really talk about an indelicate subject, but I hope the honeymoon went okay. No problem. With that, it's next on the list, I suppose, should really be M7IPY, but we'll give Mark a quick go, and then we'll go back to the top of the list. M0JCF, Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel.
Yeah, G6NRH M0JCF. Morning, everyone. Just been dog walking in the glorious sunshine over at Avery Hill. Came back, saw the time, and I thought, oh look, the CVRS net must be on. And I haven't been on it for probably 3-4 weeks now. Been on the top band net, but not been on the 2 metre net. Using the TS700 today, running through a little amplifier, giving 30 watts into the collinear. What have I done? Sold a couple of radios, sold a couple of KW radios without power supplies. I had so many of them in the end that it was just getting wasteful. I just knew that I wasn't going to be restoring all of them in any timely fashion. So I sold them without power supplies, spares or repairs. Sold a little 2 metre multi-mode rig, an IC 290E. Been doing a bit of HF, as I always do, 10 metres, 12 metres, a bit more on 40 metres. What else can I say? Yeah, a bit of DX. I think sporadic E season has probably come to the end now. Right, so when it comes to other radio, construction wise, actually I belong to one of the Facebook groups. It's a Ladybirds book group. Now, years ago, before I started drag racing motorcycles, I had an immense Ladybird book collection. Huge, and so I've always been interested in them, but I sold the collection because it funded my drag racing. I mean, it was quite valuable, and you know, I just thought to myself, yeah, it's taking up space. They're in the loft on like bookcases in the loft. I'm never going to sort of read them. I dipped in every now and again, but one of the ones I didn't sell, which was a first edition, I think from 1971, was the Ladybird book, Making a Transistor Radio. Now, I got that book as one of my introductions into radios, particularly regenerative radios, which those that know me know that is the thing I'm interested in, regen radios. So, you know, I built this radio probably 4 or 5 times now in completion at varying success. Some worked, some didn't, some, you know, needed modification. I think it all comes down to the transistors. Anyway, I was in this group, you know, the chat is, you know, like, yeah, I've got this book, I've got that book, I found the other book. And I said, you know, no one's mentioning this book. And I said, you know, maybe what I'll do is build one as per the book. So I set myself a task. So yeah, I've started building that. Luckily, I still have several Jackson 500 puff solid dielectric capacitors. I still have a stash of germanium transistors, OC71, 72, OC44s, 45s, OC81Ds, you know, all of them, including some more modern equivalents. When I say modern, they were modern in the 70s, like AC128s and that. I'm sure that all of you know what I'm on about. Anyway, I set myself this task. So I've got the wood, I've cut the wood, I've just got to drill the wood. Now, the original construction calls for brass screws and brass caps, like ring caps, that you trap the wires under. Sometimes work, sometimes don't. You know, you've got to get it just right to get perfect connections from one end to the other. So I've decided, and I've done this before, instead of screwing everything, I'm using copper plated panel pins nailed into the wood, tinning them with solder, and then I'm going to solder all of the connections. But there you go, it's a little project. I'm going to document it. Someone asked on the group, would I document the build for my YouTube channel? So I've got to do that as well. So basically I've done all the preparation, it's all ready to go. I've just got to sort of video myself soldering and all that old nonsense, and hopefully it'll work. And the other thing I've resurrected was my 4-valve regenerative receiver that I showed in the construction contest, probably, is it 3 years ago or whatever? Because I know last year, me and Steve and another, I think it might have been Justin, we were adjudicators or whatever it's known. We were judges for it, because I think Dav won that, if I remember rightly, last year. Well, this year's is coming up. I probably won't enter, but if this comes up, it works, it looks nice and everything, I may well enter it, but not for the competition. I'll enter it as a showpiece. I don't, you know me, I'm not into competitions. I'm not into collecting certificates and stuff like that. In fact, I still haven't collected my certificate for winning the category of micro SDX. So I still haven't connected that, and that was a couple of years ago. So on that note, I think I've had a long over. I've told you what I've been doing, where I've been, what I'm doing, where I'm going, and everything else in between. Over to you, Dave. G6NR. The signal reports, all I've got so far is KPZ 5 and 9 plus on this radio. Dave, WDV mobile, your 9 plus on this particular radio, and I haven't heard anyone else yet. But every week everyone's 5 and 9 pretty much. Even our man down at Brands Hatch on his 500 milliwatts, he normally gets me sort of 5 and 9. But there you go, Dave. Sorry, mate. Back to you. G6NRH M0 JCF in the Cray Valley group.
M0 JCF G6NRH returning it, all copied there, mate, and you think you had a good time anyway. Oh dear, oh dear. With that, I won't hold it my end. I'll quickly pass it over to David. G0KPZ G6NRH.
I think I've already had an over. I think because I handed it over to Dav. So I think it needs to go probably to the other day, M7IPY break.
Okay, M0KPZ or G6NRH. What I'll do is I'll pass it over to Dav. To David rather. M7IPY Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel in the group.
Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel in the group. M7IPY returning. Signal reports first of all. Good morning, everybody. Everybody is 5'9 plus 30, including Dav, our mobile, except poor old Laurie. I'll get him perfectly clear, but he's about 5'7 with me. Everybody else is 5'9 plus 30, which is pretty impressive, isn't it? It must be wonderful conditions today, and all of our lovely shiny antennas. Talking of which is a lovely link, I want to publicly thank our Trevor, M1TAD. He's a little diamond. He has helped me out so much this week, along with Richard, GAITB, I believe. I just want to say thank you for all the help that you've given me. I really, really appreciate it. So that everybody knows, he's very quiet, and I just want to say thanks, Trev. You really, really helped me out this week. Thanks for all that. Stuff we've been working on. I'm just about to start work on a stair lift. My mum had a stroke 7 weeks ago, and she was in a pretty bad way, but rehab has been pretty good, and she's moving around pretty well now, and they're looking at rehabilitating her back to independent life. But unfortunately, she lives in a house that she's rented for 54 years. But luckily, it had a stair lift fitted for my dad, who was disabled for the last 20 odd years of his life. But it hasn't moved in coming up for 20 years. So my next job is to repair a Stano stair lift. That's what I'm going to shoot off and do when we sign off here. This week I've been playing a lot down the workshop. I've got like a shed stroke workshop at the end of the garden, which is where I've been playing with Richard's old white stick antenna, this Diamond X5000. Just screwed up on a bit of roof battening, which I know Trevor was laughing at earlier this week. But I love having the 2-meter radio, the little handheld, just crackling away in the background, listening to calls on, you know, like I can monitor, I can do dual watch, so I can listen to like a repeater output and listen to the calling channel. That's really good while I'm working on some old vintage vintage old classic bikes. I've just finished rebuilding a 1983 Vela Solex, which is a French moped with an engine that directly drives a front wheel, and I'm currently just getting towards about 3/4 of the way through the build of a Putsch, an Austrian moped from 1980, which is what I started off riding on. I love motorbikes, they're great fun. That's enough waffling from me. I'm going to pass this round next to our Frank, so G0 FDP, Mike 7 IPY in the group.
M0 KPU. Did you get that, Dave? M0 KPU.
I'll go and have a quick over, mate. M0 KPU, Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel.
Yeah, Roger there, Dave. Just wanted to say hello to everybody, really. Wish them all the best. I won't take up too much of your time. So, yeah, best of 7-3s, guys. And sorry I'm a bit late on parade. I was gifting someone a Scam 12. So there we go. Back round to you, Dave. Don't know who it goes to next.
M0 KPU, G6 NRH. Yeah, all copied. Nice to hear you, mate. You're sounding really. You're 5 and 9 plus. Lovely signal, as usual. And hopefully everything's good your end. With that, I'll quickly pass it over to Frank. G0 KP. FDP, Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel. Got to sort these teeth out.
Oh dear, Dave, you are getting a bit of a tiddly-willy there, aren't you? I don't know. KP, oh dear. FDP it is, Dave, alright. Right, well done there, KPU. Anyway, you're not very strong with me, about 3 or 4 with me, but I don't know where you are and what you're doing, but anyway, I could hear you no problem at all there. And everybody else, I don't get no signal reports, because everybody to me is a good 5 and 9 plus. No problem at all. Even Laurie's a good 5 and 9 to me, wherever he is down there in his area. And I'm hopefully catching everybody. And it's quite a big net today, and I won't hold it too long. We've only got 8 minutes to go to the midday. But we're not going to stop at 11, are we, Dave? We're going to carry on till we all had to go. Okay, right. Well, I ain't got much to add at the moment, apart from the fact that hopefully with your 2-meter antenna high up, will get you out everywhere. And that's, was that 2E0 OPL was that Tony? Was it Tony doing that? Anyway, you're doing antennas, but I can't do them sort of things now. My antennas have been up to the day when I was able to get on a scaffolding and go up and do it myself, but no, can't do it anymore now. I have to get somebody like Dave, NRH, or somebody else to come around and do it for me. But that's the way it goes. I've had a stroke, and what's name said, his lady wife had a stroke as well, and you're fixing a stair lift for her. Well done there. I haven't got a stair lift here. My stair lift is my right arm and up the stairs as much as I could possibly do it myself. That's one good thing. And because the stairs here are straight up and down, not like some stairs. When I go to my daughter-in-law's, her stairs goes up and around the corner. And that's not very easy to do. It's a bit difficult. But there we are, one of them things. But anyway, I won't hold it too long because we've got quite a few on the list today. The next one is 2E0 Oscar Papa Lima. Tony, over to you.
2E0 Oscar Papa Lima, returning. Yeah, thanks, Frank. Yeah, just listening to Dave talking about the stair lift, really. Funny enough, somebody I used to know had the because I don't know who's next on the list. So good morning to anyone I haven't really seen good morning to. Never really have. I don't know whether it's near me. But anyway, I'm going to hand it back to G6NRH. Thanks very much.
G0 OPL, Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel. I'll quickly pass it over to Laurie. G4 Foxtrot Alpha Alpha, Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel. Over to you, Laurie.
Yeah, Roger from Golf 4 Foxtrot Alpha Alpha. Okay, folks. Not really much to add except to you, Dave, KCZ. Thanks very much, Dave, for the area in the first place. And I was aware of the problem of indexing rotators, but you know, to my shame, I haven't really got round to doing to checking out the rotator. Could be a job for the day. If only I could find a cool place in the house to do it. There we go. Everyone was 5 and 9 plus, including the sort of newcomers on the net, except for OPL. I don't know where Tony is, but I could just tell there's a weak carrier there. I'm surprised Kieran couldn't hear me better. Bearing in mind I've got 50 watts now at 20 feet up for a Slim Jim at the end of the garden. But not to worry. Right. I can't remember who to pass it on to, so I'm going to gamble on Trevor, M1TAD, Golf 4 Foxtrot Alpha Alpha. Cheers.
Golf 4 Foxtrot Alpha Alpha, M1CAD in the group returning. Spot on there, Laurie, spot on, mate. Yeah, as I said, it's a lovely day, so obviously I've got a few things to sort out, and I've been invited out because my daughter and my son and my daughter-in-law are on holiday. I've been invited to dinner because they've got this thing that I'm not going to look after myself, but you don't get a figure like mine by starving yourself. But anyway, so I've got to try and get as much done as possible. Little scores on the doors. NRH is plus 60, KPZ plus 60. Dave the Bass, you're coming in at 5 and 7 with me, which is very, very good. And by the way, Dave, you're welcome. Frank, you're 5 and 8. Tony, you're 5 and 7. Laurie, 5 and 5. Strangely enough, Kieran, it's a beautiful signal, but nothing's coming off the stop. So, zero strength, but perfectly readable. Dev, you're plus 20. Mark, you're plus 60 here with me, and KPU, you're plus 30, mate. Haven't got much more to add apart from, as I said, I've got to try and get this loop antenna motor assembly off. Got some weird and wonderful nuts on it, obviously a typical Italian bit of manufacturer, but try and get that off and then have a look at it on the bench rather than try doing it 30 foot up. Anyway, guys, thanks very much and Dave, for you running the net, mate, and I'll sit on the sidelines now. But no, it's over to Kieran, G8 CHB. This is Mike 1 Tango Alpha Delta in the group.
To you, Kieran, are you there? Well, that's for Kieran. Yeah, G8 CHB, Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel. Are you there, Kieran?
M1TAD, G8CHB returning. Sorry about that, had a little glitch with the foot switch, would you believe? So by spotting the transmitter, it's able to work quite nicely. Don't know what's happened there. But anyhow, Trevor, first of all, I would shout a bit louder. You always was at the back of the boxes as far as you're concerned on 2 meters, so I hope you copy me okay now. I'd like to say good morning to all those who joined before I did and since I did, as I joined late and hadn't picked up on everybody. Signals, well, Dave KPZ, you're a 5 and 9 with me, and David M7IPY, you're a 5 and 9 too. Frank, you're a 5 and 9 plus 20 as usual.
Tony, you're a good copy, but a 5 and 7, and M0KPU, you're a good copy, but a 5 and 7. Mark, you're 5 and 9 plus 20, and Dav is variable, but he started off as a 5 and 9 plus 20, as well able to copy him as well. So that's all the report as I see it. Laurie, unfortunately, I can't hear. He doesn't break the squelch with me. So I'm running 20 watts here. So I'm not sure. No, I'm not running 20 watts actually, because it's a percentage meter on the IC 9700, and I'm measuring very carefully the other day because I needed exactly 3 watts. Exactly 3 watts to go into an up converter, and I was measuring with a spectrum analyzer, and the 10% mark was just giving me about 3 watts from this rig. So I'm on a 20% mark, which I always interpreted as 20 watts, give or take, but I suspect it's a lot lower than that. However, it works. Dave KPZ, you asked me about the end-fed half wave. Yes, it is an 80 meter end-fed half wave, which presents me with a little bit of a problem, because I used to be able to get out on top band with the old G5RV when I put a counterpoise on it, and that allowed me to get out at the beginning of the month. This one, well, I've had a little read up, and I think I can probably put a trap on the end of it and a stub after that, and might be able to get out locally on 160. I'll try that, but I won't be in time to try it for the September's beginning of the month, because I won't be around much between now and then. But yes, I've seen that done. So with a bit of luck, I may actually do that final adaptation and get it running on top band as well. So that's where I'm standing at present. Right. Well, I won't hold. It was great hearing everybody this morning, and good to get back back in the loop, as it were. I haven't been on the 2 meter net now for months. So with a bit of luck, I'll be more regular in future. And then Dave, NRH, I promise I'll try to turn up more often. I'll be a good boy and I won't be absent. All right. So 73s to everybody, and I'll hold on to the end of the net listening, but I won't join in again. So with that, I'll pass on to I think it's Dav after me. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's over to you, Dav, if you're still there. So M0WDV mobile from Golf 8 Charlie Hotel Bravo.
Golf 8 Charlie Hotel Bravo. Mike 0 Whiskey Delta Victor Mobile. I was just waiting for you to take your foot off the switch there, Kieran. Yes, I'm nearly home now. I've just dropped my stepdaughter off at Abbey Wood Station, and nearly back at the house. And signal reports, I can hear everyone, which I was quite surprised about actually, given that I'm driving around. But yeah, everyone is a really strong signal. I can't give actual an S-meter report because I don't have an S-meter on this little mobile Yaesu rig. But everyone was lighting up all the segments, and everyone was readability 5, so that's the best I can do, I'm afraid. Yeah, there was a single station that I couldn't hear very, very clearly, so very happy about that. Yes, so I don't really have much to add. Once I've fixed up my radios in the loft again, I'll try and be on the net more often as well. Including the Friday nets when I can. But yeah, hopefully I can. Hopefully things are still working after they've had a good chance to dry out now after the soaking they had. Everything was switched off, so there was nothing was soaked while it was switched on. So I'm hoping that there's no permanent damage on anything. And I have switched on my main rig, which is an IC705. By itself, and that seems to be fine. So I think hopefully when I connect everything back up again. Hopefully there won't be any issues, and I can get back on the air. So with that, yes, lovely to hear everyone this morning, and hope to speak to you all again in the not too distant future. This is Mike Zero Whiskey Delta Victor. I think it probably goes to Mark now. M0 JCF from M0 WDV.
Yeah, M0 WDV, M0 JCF returning. Well, thanks everyone. Revised report can hear absolutely everyone. Everyone is either 5 and 9 or 5 and 9 plus. Except for Tony, 2E0 OPL 5 and 3. If you can hear me, Tony, you're 5 and 3. I know you're down in Erith, and of course we've got Bexley Heath in between us. Erith being lower probably than Sidcup. I know Kieran was hearing you 5 and 7, I think he said, and he's a bit further. I'm in between you and him, so maybe slightly higher down there in Mottingham. I think the elevation is higher there, so that might explain for all of that. And I was getting aircraft flutter from you as well, Tony, which may well be traffic for London City Airport up the River Thames. I can't hear them over my back garden today, so I take it the wind's in the other direction, and they're the other side of the River Thames. Antenna wise, a few people have mentioned antennas. My 2 meter beam, it's a 9-element LFA that I got off of Dave G8ZZK. I've decided to sell it on. I just don't give 2 meters SSB enough use. I do give it use, but I don't give it enough use for such a big antenna. And so that will probably come down. The rotator, I'm going to keep the rotator there. It's a Kenpro rotator. And I'm going to probably build either a 2-element is what I've suggested to myself and other people I've discussed with. A 2-element, a 10 meter beam. I'm going to stick that up there, and then as and when we come down out of solar cycle 25 and head towards solar minimum, and 10-12 meters sort of drops off apart from sporadic E. Well, sporadic E, my vertical antenna works fine. I mean, at the moment the vertical antenna works absolutely fine for DX. But as we come down to solar minimum, I'll probably do a 2-element beam. In fact, before that, I'll do a 2-element 10 meter band beam, and then as we get to solar minimum, I'll probably rebuild it as a 15 meter band one. I'm not going to bother with 20 meters. I can't be dealing with the checkbook DXs on 20 meters. 15 meters, a huge great band, and so underutilized, and has got such very similar characteristics to 17 and 20 that I think I can get away with a 2-element beam, a 15 meter beam, and just have that going. As I say, my record for 2 meters with 25 watts using a 5-element beam was Sweden. I think it was 1,250 kilometers or something. So I've sort of ticked the box. You know, I've used 2 meters SSB for distance. I've worked a big chunk of Europe with it. You know, especially the near continent, which, you know, obviously some places in Scotland are further than the near continent. But I've done the Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, France, etc. So I'm not using it enough. So if anyone's in the market for a 9-element LFA, very, very well constructed, that will be on the market soon for what I paid for it, which was very, very little, funnily enough. And so on that note, I'll talk to you again about what I've built, what I am building, what I will build, and what I don't want to build another day. I think everyone had their reports. Yes, I'm just ticking off things. Oh, Dav, there, one last thing. Dav, congratulations on the wedding. I know you told me before that you were getting married and you wouldn't be around for the oscillator building evening, and I totally forgot about it until you actually mentioned it. So congratulations on that, and you know, that's another box ticked for you, I'm sure. On that note, I will hand it back round to Dave, but I'll tie the ribbons now and say 73 to everyone. Have a great Sunday. I'm off for a family gathering down in Kent in a few hours' time. G6 NRH M0 JCF in the group saying goodbye.
M0 JCF G6 NRH returning. You're all copied there, Mark. You should pass it over now for M0 KPU to do a final, hopefully. Over to you, Chris. G0 KPU, Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel.
473, we're back mobile, so I'll catch you all later. Nice to hear you. 73s.
73s, mate, all the best. Does anybody else want to have a quick over before I close the net down? Here's Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel.
Dave, is Kieran still about?
I'll give him a call. Kieran, are you still around, mate? G8CHB, Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel.
Kieran, GHCHB, are you still going up Snowdon during the middle of the week? Back to you.
Golf 8 Charlie Hotel Bravo. Back to you.
Yeah, Kieran, are you and the wife going up to Snowdon in the middle of the week? Because it's Thursday, this is the club meeting this week, and you may not be around. Back to you.
G0FTP from G8CHB. Sorry, Frank, that's absolutely true. I won't be able to do Thursday this week. The trip is on. The great adventure is about to begin on Thursday, so won't be able to make it this week. I'm very, very sorry about that. I hope somebody else will step into the gap and make sure you get to the meeting. My apologies, and I think I should have told you about that earlier. Right, and to Dav, I'd like to apologise about keeping on that transmission after I passed it on to you. Basically, I was still using the foot switch and thought I'd switched off, but my foot switch was dicey. I'd used transmit on the rig and hadn't switched that off, and that explains everything. I've said all my apologies, and with that I'll go back to you, Frank, and I hope things work out for you Thursday. G0FTP, G8CHB in the group.
Yeah, GHCHB, G0FTP. Yeah, okay there, Kieran. I think young David, the net controller today, is going to oblige me on Thursday. Aren't you, Dave, from G6NRH, G0FTP?
Yeah, G0FTP, G6NRH. Yeah, I thought we all arranged it, actually, mate. It's already been done. It was a done deal that I was going to pick you up Thursday. I usually pick up Laurie, but I don't know if Laurie still wants to go. If not, I'll have to pick Laurie up first and come and pick you up second, which means we got to leave pretty early. Quickly pass it over to Laurie. G4 Foxtrot Alpha Alpha, Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel. Did you get that?
Very hurriedly from Golf 4 Foxtrot Alpha Alpha. Answer no, Dave. Family do on Thursday, but thanks for the offer. And to you, Daff, congratulations on the marriage. We've just completed 61, and I can only say the first 40 were the worst, over.
All right, then, Dave, G6NRH from G0FTP. Okay, see you on Thursday. Whatever time you arrive, don't worry about the time. Just get here when you get it, okay? From G0FTP.
G0FTP, G6NRH. They're all copied there, mate, yeah. So I'll try and get, because Laurie's not going, so I don't have to worry about picking Laurie up, because he's got other events to sort out, like family business, etc. And I'll say, this has got to be one of the longest nets we've ever had. We've got 11 members so far, and it's been a lovely net. And all I can say is thank you for all those that have joined me on this net, and that is Dave, Frank, Tony, Laurie, Trevor, Kieran, Dav, Mark and Chris. And I just think it's been an amazing net. I'm now going to go QRT and shut the net down. I'll just make sure nobody else wants to before I do. Anybody have quick reports or anything before I shut the net down?
Just 7-3's all.
7-3 is some thanks, Dave.
7-3, Dave.
Ditto.
7-3 all.
7-3, Dave.
Thank you, everybody that was on the net. It was been a pleasure. I might even get used to this, but never mind. I say 7-3 to everybody and hope to do it all again on Friday. With that, this is Golf 6 November Romeo 2, closing the net down at 11:15. 7-3, everybody. Start it up.